Welcome back to our politics. EU Council President Donald Tusk made a direct call to the people of Britain today who want to remain in the EU. His message was simple. We're on your side, even if your own parliament isn't. But not all MEPs were in the mood to be so generous towards British voters in the European Parliament today. Let's take a look.
You cannot betray the 6 million people who signed the petition to revoke Article 50, the 1 million people who marched for a people's vote, or the increasing majority of people who want to remain in the European Union. They may feel that they are not sufficiently represented by the UK Parliament, but they must feel that they are represented by you in this chamber, because they are Europeans.
I believe that such an existential issue as the Brexit can only be decided on a cross-party agreement in a parliament, as we do here in this European Parliament.
If the situation remains to be blocked, then there is only one chance. Ask the people. Ask the people. Yes, I know why you shy away from that, because you are afraid of everything what happens in London streets, afraid to death because you can't stand it anymore. This will be the solution, and the British people will tell you where to go.
The EU still seems to continue pursuing the same policy of deterrence, which, roughly speaking, consists of two elements. First, to punish the United Kingdom by a no deal, so that no one in the future would dare to follow their footsteps. And secondly, to humiliate the United Kingdom.
Right, joining us to discuss this is Roberto Gualtieri, an Italian MEP who sits with the Socialists and Democrats group and on the European Parliament's Brexit steering group as well. And also joining us, Nigel Farage, a British MEP who sits with the Europe of Freedom and Direct Democracy group. All right, Nigel, I'll ask you this first. You've said it in the past on the show, leave is leave, and that's it. But Donald Tusk clearly wearing his heart on his sleeve, if you say so, his feelings.
Yes.
He doesn't want the UK to...
Yes, there was lots of emotion there, yes.
There is a lot of emotion.
A lot of emotion, but somewhat deluded. He talks about 1 million people marching. Well, it wasn't. It was 1/3 of a million. But still a lot of people, I'll grant you.
Organisers did say
it was yeah, it was
1 million.
He talks about a petition signed by people from all over the world. What he doesn't talk about is the 17.4 million who voted Brexit in the referendum. But more importantly, what nobody in that parliament today referenced was what has happened over the last 3 weeks in the opinion polls in the United Kingdom. We've seen a dramatic shift towards leaving with no deal. And the reason is people have just had enough of this Brexit agony going on, and they want a conclusion. And you're now looking at leads of 15% plus for leaving the European Union.
Well, I think it depends on what survey you're looking at, because there's what UK thinks who say that 54% I think want to remain now versus 46% back then.
That is hugely out of date. If you look at what's happened in the last 3 weeks, there's been a massive shift on this, and it's as if there is a belief in this European Parliament that the UK voters now want to remain. They don't.
All right, we will know if we ask. Udo Bullman said, ask the people. All right, I will ask you about what we heard from the Parliament there. Is our MEPs, is the EU, is Donald Tusk overstepping the line and sort of interfering in UK affairs?
No, I don't think so, because of course we have to respect the outcome of the referendum. That's the reason why we have been, while considering Brexit a catastrophic mistake, No. We respect it while regretting the referendum. But of course, we have also to respect those European citizens, UK and European citizens, that are saying clearly and loudly that they want to remain. We represent also them, so we cannot be biased. And also because, yes, there has been a referendum and we have negotiated a withdrawal agreement, but today is Wednesday, the day of leaving was supposed to be Friday, and still there is no agreement on the deal. So clearly something's going wrong. I think we cannot. No, something's going wrong. But why? But why was going wrong?
Okay.
Because the concrete implication of Brexit that were clearly kept hidden in the campaign of the referendum now are becoming clear. So one thing is abstract to say you want to remain or to leave, but when you understand what are the consequences, that's why I think there is a shift of opinion, and why when you have to choose in concrete, but what is the plan? What is the plan for leaving the Union? What is the plan?
The majority,
and then citizens are rightly concerned, but you know
the majority now is to leave on WTO terms.
Oh yeah, I don't think so.
And it's now
that's what you think. That what you think, but it is not interested
what I think
of the United Kingdom, and I don't think it is a broad majority in the Parliament. The UK Parliament just voted they don't want no deal because they know that no deal would be a mistake.
Science is very useful at times. Being analytical is quite helpful, and taking emotion.
I don't think you are being analytical.
If you take emotion out of it,
no, I have no emotion.
Leaving with no deal is now the most popular by far of all the options in the United Kingdom, commanding a big majority, and that's where we are. That's where
I cannot compete on this level of propaganda. But
well, you see, this is it. You guys seem to think that Brexit's a terrible mistake and that somehow we're going to change our minds. We are not.
All the employees' organisation, all the worker organisation, or those to say, look at the consequences of the UK economy, look at the consequences of cities. They are crazy.
Our growth is double the Eurozone. Our employment is the highest it's ever been. The UK economy...
You are currently member of the European Union and the single market.
Since the Brexit vote,
I remind you
despite all the warnings we were given, we were told if we voted to leave,
we are doing a bit of surreal discussion.
And we're happy.
You were saying that there's more appetite for just a no deal, leave without a deal. But we are seeing members of like Jacob Rees-Mogg, for example, just moving closer to supporting Theresa May's deal because there seems to be fear of leaving without a deal. It's the opposite of what you were saying.
Jacob would like to leave without a deal. That's his preferred choice. But the reason Jacob Rees-Mogg is moving his position is he genuinely fears, that this issue is so divisive within the Conservative Party that it could split the Conservative Party. And I think what you're seeing...
Are you saying this is all about party politics, then?
I'm afraid to a very large extent it is, yes. And that's the problem. The people have had their say, and our political system is simply not implementing it.
But still, they could be supporting Theresa May. Okay, I'd like to know what you would like to come out of tonight. What is the most reasonable...
I think finally it's very important that the UK Parliament is taking back control and is deciding what are the positive options, not only what they do not want. So you're happy that the MPs took control of this? No, I think it's a very positive element because we have seen a deal negotiated and then this has not been able to pass through the Parliament. So it was clear there was big mistakes by the government. So now the Parliament is thinking about what is the future. And I think the fact that among those options, there are options that foresee a closer relationship between the United Kingdom and Europe. This is good, because this is good for both economies, and for the future. It is strategic choices for the destiny of the United Kingdom. And those who thought that the United Kingdom could just be a free rider of a globalized world, they don't know how really we are embedded in a system of rules which are also strong safeguards for citizens, for rights, for worker rights, for environmental rights, but are also a boost for our economy. So we are integrated. This is the history. We cannot change that.
We want democracy.
So the fact that among those options, majority of the options are options which foresee a closer relationship, or also that foresee to give back the word to the people, I think is a sign of wisdom. It's a sign of wisdom of the UK Parliament.
A quick reply from you, Nigel,
because... 8 options being debated, 7 remain and 1 leave. And that sums up the gap between our Parliament and the people.
All right, we'll leave it at that for now because we do have breaking news at the moment. Let's go to our correspondent, Vincent McAviney, who is in London for us. Vincent, can you bring us up to date? What is happening?
Well, the Prime Minister arrived late, Tessa, to that meeting. She went in around 8 past the hour. It was apparently that packed that some MPs couldn't get in, and there was banging on the desks when the Prime Minister arrived. Now, in the last few minutes, it's being reported that she said to MPs that she will hand over the leadership once Brexit is delivered. When pressed on this, she said she will not remain in post for the next phase of the negotiations. And one MP, James Cartledge, says her clear implication was that she would go once the withdrawal agreement was passed. So once she has that third meaningful vote and the withdrawal agreement is passed, the Prime Minister seems to be signalling that she will go and she won't go on to the next stage of the negotiations. So That would therefore get some Brexiteer MPs on side to do that third vote. But it was also, as predicted in tonight's Evening Standard newspaper, edited by the former Chancellor George Osborne, start the race for a successor to the Prime Minister. Michael Gove there, one person very prominently on the front page, Boris Johnson, Amber Rudd as well. One MP said, Nigel Evans, the chair of the 1922 committee, there would be more runners and riders than the Grand National. So Theresa May, it sounds like, has just started the firing gun on a fresh leadership election if she manages to get her withdrawal agreement through the House of Commons.
All right, thank you for that, Vincent. Let's get a quick reaction from both of you. I'll start with you because this would mean that the UK, there's no more hope for the UK to stay if they vote this through and if they do follow on through siding with the withdrawal agreement that currently exists on the table. What is your reaction to Theresa May resigning, saying she will resign if the withdrawal deal is passed through?
I mean, that's really internal UK politics. I don't have anything to comment, of course. We are waiting for a perspective, a positive position that tell us what the UK wants to do with its future. I, of course, consider Brexit a very big mistake. So if the UK...
It seems they're going ahead with it.
But of course, if anything would secure a positive position, a positive majority is welcome. But I don't want to comment on the internal politics of the Tories.
Okay, Nigel, quick reaction
from you. But it's no good,
is
it? Because if she passes a disastrous treaty that leaves us trapped and is in many ways worse than the current terms of EU membership, then she'll go. Well, the damage is done by then. What good's that?
Well, what good is that? Is Nigel's last word there. Coming up on Raw Politics, a lot more for you. Should European countries apologize for colonization? Mexico's president is asking Madrid to say sorry for Spanish conquest 500 years ago. That debate is up next.